Hi everyone, Erin here from Real Wig Fun. Thanks so much for joining me. So today I brought with me two different classic Jon Renau styles, and this is Haute, and I have Haute in the color 12 FS12. But I brought a very similar style called Karlie, and I have Karlie in the color 12 FS8. So we're going to go through each of these different styles and talk about some of the similarities and the differences. Haute comes from Jon Renau's HD or Heat Defiant collection. And you'll notice when you get the box, if your style is from the Heat Defiant collection, you will see it right here. As you can see, it's just a shoulder length. It's a classic shoulder length bob, and it's incredibly wearable. In fact, this was one of my very first wigs when I started out in my wig journey. And for me, it worked so tremendously well because it is lower density and it looks very similar to my bio hair when I loved it the most. I'll go ahead and do a turn so that you can see her on all sides, but let me get up close. I can show you the hairline. It's done incredibly well. Okay, so obviously my front. This is my right side. And the back, my left side, and back to the front. Haute has an average size cap. I have a 22-inch circumference head. It's fitting me beautifully. Has a left-handed monofilament part, so you can part it within this space and get that illusion of scalp, and then it's got a lace front. So let me pop it off and I can show you the inside of her cap. Left-handed monofilament part. It's got a wide mouth, which gives you some options and flexibility on where exactly you want to part this piece. It doesn't have an extended lace, meaning the lace does not run into the felt covered ear tabs. And then you've got open wefted sides and back, and it has a regular nape. So the nape being a regular nape is referencing the depth of this piece right here. An extended nape would be about double the width of this. Extended napes are particularly good on really short styles. It helps to keep that wig at the base of your neck. So without it having an extended nape on this particular piece, given the length, doesn't bother me at all. As I mentioned earlier, this is a low density piece, which I really love, and it weighs only 3.8 ounces, so it's really super comfortable. And then the dimensions on this piece, these front sections here are 11.5 inches. For reference, my face from hairline to chin is approximately 7 inches. And the sides are 8 inches, the crown measures 12 inches, and then the nape is a shorter 4 inches. So here's what I really love about this particular style. Because it's made out of heat-defiant synthetic fibers, I can change the pattern or style of this hair. I could add waves or I could straighten it further. And in fact, I'm more of a straighter look, flat ironed look than this curled under. So if you are too, I'm going to show you very quickly how I go ahead and straighten out to have a more crisp, perhaps maybe a little bit more modern look. Whenever you're applying heat to a heat defiant fiber wig, the first step that you want to do is spray it with some heat protectant. I particularly love the Hair You Wear's Restore for that. So I've gone ahead, I've sprayed it all over the fiber. It's not wet, it's just lightly damp. The next thing that I'm going to do is keep my heat tools on low. You do want to check the manufacturer's directions on the max temperature that you can use on your particular heat defiant fiber, but I like keeping it as low as possible that will achieve the desired result. So in this case, I have my flat iron at approximately 280 degrees. So I didn't straighten it completely. I just knocked out some of the roundness on the ends. And for me, this is perfect. So let me go ahead. I will pop Haute off and I'm going to put on Jon Renau's Karlie. And there's a few key differences. All right, so this is Jon Renau's Karlie. And some of the differences that you may not be able to see are seen in number one, the cap construction, and number two, the fiber type. So unlike Haute, which was made out of HD synthetic fiber, Karlie is made from straight synthetic. So you can't apply heat to this style as we did on Haute. These styles look very similar straight out of the box. Karlie is a touch longer. Again, a shoulder length bob, very wearable. The key difference is in the cap construction, and Karlie is 100% hand tied. So let me pop it off so that I can show you the inside of her cap. If you've never seen a 100% hand tied cap, this is generally what it looks like. So Karlie has a full monofilament top, unlike Haute had a left-handed monofilament part. So Karlie just gives you some more parting flexibility in comparison to Haute. They both had the lace front. They both did not have extended lace fronts into the ear tabs, but the rest of Karlie is 100% hand tied. So what is the benefit of this? Number one, typically the hair fibers have extremely natural movement because of how they are adhered to a cap like this. Number two, because it takes more time for a manufacturer to produce a piece like this, this will be a higher price point than what we saw on Haute, given Haute had a lot of wefting on the sides and on the back. And then they both have the regular nape with Velcro adjusters. I'd say there's probably two other key differences that 100% hand-tied cap is going to offer you. Number one, if you have a very sensitive scalp, many women that are going through medical treatment experience scalp sensitivity. 100% hand-tied cap is going to give you a very comfortable fit that may meet the needs of your sensitive scalp. Number two would be if you chose to wear 100% hand-tied cap up, and perhaps you wanted to do an updo. The benefit is when you pull that hair back, you're not going to be seeing any of the wefting because there isn't any. So you're really getting that illusion of scalp when you pull that back to style it. So it's going to look very similar to Haute, but why don't I do a turn so that you can see Karlie on all sides. The same thing, the lace front is done very well. As I mentioned, the lengths are a little bit longer on Karlie than they were on Haute. Okay, this is my back, my left-hand side, and back to the front. The other thing that I really want to point out, and you may know this, you may have heard me talk about how much I personally prefer heat-defiant synthetic fibers. And number one, they come with very little shine. So I'm not sure if you're able to pick that up on the camera, but I would say that Karlie's synthetic fiber could use with a little bit of dry shampoo. So if you get a straight synthetic at home and you find that there's a little bit of that excess shine, not to worry, that shine will dissipate over time. But for a quick fix to get out of the house today, just simply spray it with some dry shampoo. Unlike the heat-defiant synthetic fiber that typically you don't see that same degree of shine. Regular synthetic fiber is definitely considered to be a workhorse in comparison to heat-defiant fiber, which needs a little bit extra TLC. If somebody made me choose, and it's hard because both of these styles are fantastic, I would actually say that Jon Renau's Haute, which I just popped back on my head, would be my personal preference. Nothing against Karlie. I just personally like this length, and I like the ability to be able to knock out a little bit of that roundness from the bottom of this style. So I'd love to hear from you. Which one would be your pick? Drop it in the comments below. And if you're interested in this piece, head over to wigsbypattiespearls.com and be sure to use my discount code ERYNN, ERYNN 25 to save. Stay well and stay safe. Bye everybody.